here is a video on how to do a dial session inside of the new version of Ninja. The first thing you're going to want to do is just log into your account, and then you're going to go to the dashboard screen by default. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is build your queue. So if you already have leads left in your queue that you haven't called yet, you'll see them here, or you can add other leads to it using the filter options, which I have a different video for, or you can use the smart sort or any of those options. But all you need to do is get a list of leads here. I'm just going to have a couple because they're all my test leads. So once you have your list, all you're going to have to do is hit work queue here or anywhere else in the application at any given time. You can come over here, hit my queue. You'll see that same list of leads here, and you can hit work queue up here. So I'll just hit it up here since I'm here. You'll see it'll slide over. The first question that it's going to ask you is how many dials per lead you want to make. So your choices are 1, 2, or 3. And really what this means is each time it starts calling a lead, if you do more than one, it'll ring for about 15 seconds, hang up, wait for about 2 seconds, and then dial again. So it'll do all those dialings for you. And just so everybody knows, there is a lead cadence specifically, or a dial cadence specifically to help you from showing up as spam as often. So that's why there's specific wait times and amounts of times that it rings. So you'll just choose how many you want to do. Most people will probably do 3. And then you'll have the option between doing a click to dial session. So what that would mean is each time you want to call the person, you just click the phone to dial them. Or you can do an auto dial session. And that's just where the phone is going to automatically dial for you time after time. So I'm just going to do click to dial right now just because these are real phone numbers. Once you're in here, if you're going to do a click to dial session, you just click this phone here and it'll start dialing. But if not, the really only difference is that it's going to be dialing for you. And so you won't really notice. It'll just hang up, ring, hang up, ring, hang up, and just go down the list. You'll still have to disposition your leads. So once you've called all the times, so if you did like a 3 dial session, on the 3rd dial, it's going to go all the way to their voicemail. And so if you can leave a voicemail if you want, do a voicemail drop over here, or you can just disposition the phone call and go to the next lead. So you have to disposition the phone calls no matter what in order to progress through the queue. And so for this one, I'll just show you how to do it. I'll hit call 1 here, and that's it. Although my leads have the same name, you'll notice that it did cycle to the next one. You'll also see that any leads that you've already dispositioned in your call queue, they'll be struck out and have kind of a red color to them, just indicating that you've called that lead. So when you're in a dial session though, you can do pretty much anything you need to. So if you needed to change the name, you can click on the name and change it. Just put a D on there. You can change the phone number. Obviously, click to change any of the information for contact information, home information, health information, things like that. So it'll all be in here. Then you can also set appointments by clicking the appointment button, which will bring up your calendar. You can schedule a call into the future, just giving a time and a date. You can also attach a file for whatever reasons you might need to. So if you have like a manually filled out qualifier form you wanted to attach to, or an application, you can do that there. Then we do have our own built-in qualifier form, and you can go ahead and click that and it will open up the qualifier. So in order to go back to that main lead list or lead card, you can either hit return to lead here, or you can just click the qualifier button again and it'll go back. The qualifier is going to have all the same information that was on the front, and anything that you update here will update that lead as well. So you don't have to do it here and in the lead card. So it'll have all the different qualifying information. This here in particular is a mortgage protection qualifier. And so, yeah, you'll have your lead information And then you can also attach medical conditions and medications to your lead. So if you wanted to look up a medication, so you're on the phone with somebody and they tell you they're on Ozempic, you can type it in and hit search. You'll see that Ozempic will show up here, and there will be a little info button inside of medications that you've kind of attached to your lead. So you can click on that and you can read the medical information about that medication, what it's specifically used for, and this comes directly from the FDA. So it'll be the only things that they're allowed to be used for. Then down here, you're going to see some possible conditions that the medication might be used for. So Ozempic has type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, stroke. Although Ozempic can be used for weight loss, it's not really a medical condition that it's searching for in here. So anyways, once you see a medical condition that you want to attach that to, you can just go ahead and hit it. So say they had, actually we'll do a stroke. You'll click on it, then it's going to ask some follow-up questions about that. So the year since the diagnosis of that, and then the year since the last treatment for that. So I'll just do 10 and 5. And then that's it. You'll see that it creates a condition for you. You can also remove that condition. You can remove the medication as well, but it will save as you go along. And so you don't need to hit save or anything, and this medication and that condition will be attached to the lead. So it should really help out, especially new agents, being able to ask the correct questions while they're on the phone. And, a lot of clients, they don't really know what their medications are used for. And so this is a good way to be able to get that information and then ask those follow-up questions. But yeah, so once you go through, you can also change your script over here. You can attach scripts to leads and they'll show up. This lead doesn't have a script attached to it, but if I wanted to show mortgage protection phone script, I can click on it. There's not a whole lot of information on my test leads here, so there's a lot of unknowns, but where there is information, it will show you inside of the script here. It'll change it, so their name, things like that. You can also text message that lead. So if you need to send a text message, you can go on here and type it in, choose the number that you want to send it from. Right here will only show you numbers that you are eligible to text message from. So it won't waste your time accidentally sending messages from the wrong phone numbers. So it's a pretty nice feature. You'll be able to call from any number in your system, but you'll only be able to text from specific numbers that have the ATP registrations. If you want to add any notes, you can come here, add notes or any policy plans. And then in the very short future, you can also click this button and it'll run that qualifier information and give you suggestions from Virtual Mentor for what products this client might be eligible for. But yeah, so you can just go through and cycle through all your leads, and then when you're done, it's just going to close out. You can hit empty queue, or when you go back to it, that queue will be empty because those leads had already been, dispositioned and called. Yeah, that is how you do a dial session in the new version of Funnel.